Thank you for joining me as we get ready for the men's 100-meter semifinal at the US Championships to get the athletes ready for Paris. The live action starts in less than 30 minutes. But before that, let me share my thoughts on Sha'Carri Richardson's victory last night and the state of American sprinting. I do hope you find value in the channel and you will subscribe and like this video. Last night, we saw something impressive from Sha'Carri Richardson and the entire Dennis Mitchell group. And allow me to give my thoughts on it. The last time an American woman legitimately won the Olympic gold medal over 100 meters was in 1996 when Gail Devers successfully defended her 100-meter title that she won 4 years earlier in Barcelona in 1992. At that time, she became the second woman ever to go back-to-back at the Olympics, following the great Wyoming Tyus. Since 2008, Jamaica has dominated the 100-meter titles, back-to-back for Fraser Price, and then back-to-back for Elaine Thompson-Herah. Almost 30 years on since Diva's triumph, it's quite possible that Sha'Carri Richardson is poised to make the stars and stripes shine again in the French capital. Of course, we must wait and see what we get from Fraser Price, the elder stateswoman of sprinting, the most decorated career over 100 meters we've ever seen, and also Shericka Jackson, the silver medalist from last year's World Championships. We will learn a lot about this in the coming days as the Jamaica National Championships is in just a matter of days. But back to the world champion and the US national champion, Sha'Carri Richardson. It's very clear she's incredibly fast at the moment. If we go back to her opening round at the US national trials, she stumbled, still managed to go sub 10.9. And at that point, it was pretty clear to me she was in 10.6 shape. Her 10.71 run in the final confirms this. But even if we don't assess, or before we actually assess the start of that race, had she just properly run through the line, we could have been looking at a 10.68, a 10.69. It's very clear her first phase needs some work. She's not been starting well. And it's just a matter of execution. And that, my friends, I believe is the scary part. Because if she gets it right, we may be looking at something really special. And for the next coming weeks, that is what her coach, Dennis Mitchell, will be prioritizing. They have to work on. But it was a fabulous performance from her. We have to give it to her. She's looking really good over these past couple of years. And she put a lot of people on notice. And I have to say, all the women from the Dennis Mitchell camp look really well. We saw personal best from Melissa Jefferson, PB of 10.8, and a season best from Twanisha T.T. Terry, 10.89. These are signals to the rest of the world that they're in shape, but also it certainly makes them heavy favorites for the relay. In many respects, we have to say we're at that point in the season where we'll learn a lot. We'll get a better sense of what will happen in Paris. We can start gauging our bets here. But for now, the Americans have declared their readiness. Over to you, Jamaica, and the rest of the world. So I want to thank everyone for joining me. I know a lot of you are on the channel. I just want to really quickly acknowledge that. I know some of you are also bigger sports fans. Thank you for even being here, especially when you think about, I'm in a different setup. This is not my normal setup, and I'll be here hanging out in this setup for another week or so. But I really want to thank you for joining me. I know some of you are big cricket fans as well. I'm not covering the cricket tonight, which is something that it's difficult for me not to do at the same time. I'll take a look at that as we go along. But in a matter of minutes, obviously, we'll get a sense of the men's semifinals at the U.S. Championships here. I want to preview a couple of these things. I give you some thoughts on that, and as the races go along, we'll definitely watch. We'll get think about what we see here. I think coming up there, it's exciting, as you know, the men's 100-meter finals, similar semifinals, similar to the women. Top two finishers from each heat qualifies automatically. So you have three semifinals, two of them go through, and then you get the three fastest times. So now we've moved into a stage where World Athletics demands a 9-lane final, so you'll get 9 people into the final. And it's a really interesting kind of a semifinal. We'll go through it. We'll probably put up the semifinal list in a second. But I expect when I think, I was thinking through semifinal number 1, I think the bulk of the running comes from probably Baker, Curley, and Lindsay. Curley's form to me is still unknown. We haven't seen much in terms of how to gauge him. He's been running, but we haven't seen him take liftoff yet. We were hoping to see that in New York the other day. He looked fairly comfortable in his opening run, but not quite sure what we'll get. The teenager also is in this race, Miller. He's scraped through. We've seen him run 9.93 this season. There's potential for him to run a blinder and make it into the final. I'm not quite sure. Maybe he'll bounce back from the first run, or maybe this is a stage that's a bit too far for him. We'll get a sense. But I'm thinking maybe it's Baker and Miller for me. They are the two athletes there. Not Baker and Miller, sorry, but Baker and Miller right now, obviously, are the two athletes doing sub 10 so far. But it could be a Baker Lindsay with Fred probably vying for that third spot, if I had to guess. It's hard to guess. Semifinal number 2 too is pretty easy for me to think about. I think Noah Lyles, regardless of what kind of starts he gets, he's gonna probably take that semifinal already with a season best out when he ran in Jamaica of 9.85. There's also Kendall Williams, obviously Kung Fu, Kenny Bednarak as well. And so they are the major threats, I think, for the next two automatic spots in semifinal number 2. I can't necessarily count out Hall Thompson or Beard either. And in semifinal number 3, I think it's going to be between Coleman and Brandon Hickling. And they may, for me, secure the top 2 spots. We'll see what we get from the likes of a Kyrie King and so on. But you let me know what you think as we start to get through this in the next few minutes or so. We'll do the lineup. Let me get a quick check of where we are in terms of for the comments here. I am not quite sure where we are. Mindset, thanks for being here. I look like West Indies have already lost a wicket or so. I'm not quite sure. I'm just looking. 5 for 2 West Indies in the cricket. If you're there, this does not a good look right there. Top boy price. Yeah, the men's semifinal is coming up on the track in a matter of 9 minutes or so, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so in another 9 minutes. Thank you. I already saw my producer put that up. The final is tonight as well. Black Gray. It's gonna be at 10:49 p.m. if you're in Eastern Standard Time. Mindset is saying Shakar is obviously a great talent. Personally, though, I detest her. Can't stand to see her or hear about her, but I'll suffer through it as this is my channel. No problem. I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, there's a different type of a taste for her, obviously. I mean, in fairness, seems as if she's, having a different type of a media outlook in terms of training and so on. But, that's either here or there. For me, I think talent-wise, extremely talented. We all know this from she was a junior. And now, if you really look at it, she's in the right cycle or phase to really accelerate a career if things go well. But it's not as easy, definitely not as easy. There's a lot of people who have things to say. I think the Jamaicans will definitely have things to say. I think Julian Alfred will have things to say this year. So I don't think it's as clear cut. I mean, unless someone pops up and starts running very low 10.6 or getting into the 10.5s, which you probably won't see until you get to the Olympics, because who wants to run those times before the Olympics? And so we'll get a sense there. Shamar is saying Can't wait to see my boy Quincy tonight. Yeah, Quincy. I mean, that kid from Bullis is something else. A 16-year-old running that fast. I mean, there's so much upside for him. Hopefully, he's not burnt out. Hopefully they manage him well. He's really good quarter miler there, and nobody yet because he's a young kid. They'll build him up. Hopefully, we've seen a lot of talented athletes at that level before. I mean, but you under 18 world record, as very, very, very special there. Yeah, thanks for that mindset. Hit that button. Let's get that chat room going. Agro Valley Farm here. That's hopefully you're selling stuff as well. Is it an organic farm? I'm just joking. Wait for Jamaica trials this week. As fast as Shakar is, I don't see Jamaica losing back-to-back championships 100-meter final. Nothing is guaranteed for Shakar and Price. Nothing is guaranteed for sure. I agree with that statement 100%. I think the preparation, we'll see. I think I agree with you in many respects. I think I want to see what Alana Reid does as well. We want to see what Fraser Price will do. Where we'll get Sharika Jackson. Obviously, those are the big names, but I also think a slowly from Jamaica too might be interesting. I don't know how much she will have in her legs to make an assault on getting an automatic spot on that team. Very much in my thinking for a relay pool. But we'll get a sense. I think Julian Alfred too, Coach Flo is doing a fantastic job in preparation. This year she's not in college, obviously. She doesn't have to be peaking anytime now. Especially since she's from St. Lucia. Getting to that championships is very easy. There's no competition there, and so nothing is guaranteed. And the thing about the big Jamaicans, they also tend to be prepared at the right time, especially Fraser Price and Jackson recently. We don't know what we'll get from Elaine Thompson. I'm very skeptical of if we'll get anything there, given what we've seen with the injuries. But we'll wait and see. And then what we shouldn't count out to is that there's always new crop of people that can pop up in an Olympic year. A lot of people, I don't know if your memories are thick enough. I remember very well 2008 when Fraser Price burst onto the scene at the Jamaica National Trials. Veronica Campbell-Brown was the world champion over 100 meters the year before. There was outcry about whether or not you could send a youngster like that. The rest is history, obviously. So you can't count out what you'll get. Where am I? Style Behemore says, I think Noah may edge out Christian Coleman in the final if he gets a decent start. Yeah, I think what Noah needs is a start that's really close to the rest. He doesn't have to have the best start. He probably never get one of those in any time soon, or at least consistently. But if he's there, he gets into top end speed, is better than everybody there. So he just doesn't want to give up too much room. Give up too much room, and then you'll be running. My thinking is what we're going to see the likes of a Fred Curley. We'll get a sense of that. In a matter of 4 minutes, the race will be there. I'm just taking a look at it. I'm seeing Snoop Dogg hugging somebody who I'm not quite sure. Everyone is counting out Jamaica, but they showed up when it matters, so no one should count them out. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Black Gray says Noah is definitely winning. The time is what will be interesting. Yeah. And the question is, do you want to run really fast tonight? I think you have to be in great shape because, the competition is tough. And then, it depends on so this is where I remember, I guess when I took USA track and field level 1 coaching, I think I remember one of the instructors was saying some years ago, like peaking is an art and a science. There's no really exact way to peak an athlete. And so some people think you can really keep a peak for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Some like to peak, then pull them back out of it and push them back. It's also like a philosophical thing as well. We'll get to see. What's up, Brian? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. No, we're not going to show the races, Dylan. Unfortunately, that's not how I do it here. We watch along. I can't do that. I know you might see that on other YouTube channels, but they are on a way to a hiding there. All in the game. Yeah, I want to talk about that too. I was thinking about that in my preview as well. Women's 400 meters. I was talking to some people earlier today, just chatting, and I have zero idea about how that's gonna pan out. In the sense that I just don't know, to be honest with you. I, it's one of those things, you know. Will Brown find form and win it? Uh, I'm wondering, will it be Herbie Jackson? Can Shamier Little continue with her magic moments? Because I don't know what is happening with her, but she's definitely making some statement there. Hayes is back. I mean, running out of lane one is going to be challenging, obviously. Uh, Alexis Holmes, obviously, as well in the mix. It should be very competitive. I think that's going to be very competitive. So I don't know. We'll see. What your thoughts on that? Yeah, the curious case of Aaron Knighton. Interesting there. Yeah, I think I mentioned it yesterday. Mindset. I suspect. Uh, I I'm not quite sure if I haven't seen anything, but I think it's possible that the likes of the Athletic Integrity Unit or WADA could appeal it. We'll see. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I haven't seen. I didn't even see that. I should have been checking up on the hammer. Uh, I haven't seen that. So the lineup for the men's 100-meter semifinals in the mix right now, I'm seeing Big Fred Curley. Doesn't look particularly cool and collected, but that's just me putting that on him. Uh, I agree. I think it's demand to dislike any athlete. Yeah, I don't think we. I don't. Yeah, I think I don't care about personal traits in a sense, to be honest with you, unless you do something out of the way. But I think she's fine. I mean, I know some people don't like her for different reasons, but talent wise, we cannot doubt that for sure. And thank you for joining me. If it's your first time, appreciate it on channel. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. All in the game. Impressed by 4 collegians making women's final after a long NCAA season. Only one is from Arkansas. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Amber Anning is Brit, right? And Price is Jamaican. I don't know. Who you think will win all in the game, or anybody on the channel? I don't know who will win the 400 meters. I'm still trying to think through that. Maybe Herbie Jackson pulls it off. Yeah, but yeah, men's 100-meter, getting in the blocks. Kristen Miller, obviously, in this. Yeah, Noah needs to have a great start to be able to take these win. Because Coleman, I saw the Heat's got more in the tank. Yeah, I think Coleman is gearing up to. I agree with you. So let's take a look at this race really quickly here, guys. As we say, first 2 automatic, and 3 fastest times get into the final. Clean start, and I'm not. Miller looks like a decent start there. Fred Curley's struggling, but he's coming back in the mix here. Woof! It's Miller and probably Curley and Lindsay here. 9.88, but it's a plus 2.6, so it's above the allowable limit there. So Courtney Lindsay takes it, yeah, ahead of Fred Curley, and the kid from high school gets the 3rd place, 994. So it's Lindsay 988, Curley 989. Ronnie Baker 998 as well. Look at that. Miller was running a blinder there for a kid. There's a lot of questions you have to say you have to answer if you're a seasoned athlete to allow this kid to be in the mix here. Yeah, Curley had to work really hard. It was really good running there from Courtney Lindsay. That's a lot of hard work right there just to get into the final. So Lindsay gets in, Fred Curley gets in automatic, Miller 994, and Ronnie Baker 998. Those are the 2 guys there, and Josephus Lyles 10.04 on the bubble, I will say. Bibbs 10.08, Garcia 10.13, Hilton 10.15, Webb 10.16, and of course we didn't get a start from Elijah Hall Thompson. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Brown. Yeah, Brown. Yeah, Kalen Brown is your favorite. Yeah, I can buy that. I could buy that. Coleman is a problem. He is. Lindsay making this 100-meter team. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't think 3 men beating him tonight. So I think he's going to get on it. And as you said, all in the game, high schooler acquitted himself well. 100% agree. I mean, he got out really well. He fought hard. And especially when you think about what happened yesterday, he was struggling in that race. Maybe it's nerves, obviously. You don't get an opportunity to run at this level. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good race there. The Haywood Field track there, obviously, oftentimes let in extra breeze than you would want, and that's over the allowable limit, so it's not a personal best for any of those guys, but still good enough to be sitting there. 994, you got to really run faster than 994 to get into this. The high schooler could definitely get in. We'll see. Mindset is saying Curly had a baddish start. Good run to get back in. Yeah, he had to work hard to get back in there. Fred Curley had to work hard. So hopefully he still has a lot in the tank left. If you're into cricket, Weston is our 33 for 2. Myers 12, Chase 14. I have no idea what's going on. I just have it on my other phone there. So yeah, so semifinal coming up too. I expect Lyles, as I said in my pre-show talk, to win this race regardless of the start. I think he's just superior than the rest, and he's a guy that doesn't like to lose either. I think Williams and Kung Fu Kenny will battle it out for the other two positions rather. So we're getting close to the start of the next. Obviously, there's Austin as well. Beard is in the mix, and yeah. So yeah, we'll get that on. Thank you everybody for joining. Don't forget hit the like and subscribe button. This is a great watch along. We do this a lot. We'll do this for a lot more sports. A lot of this will happen all week, right into Jamaica trials as well. And I'm calling this my studio FJ, because I'm not even anywhere close to where I normally do this. But I set it up. I make sure I'm there. All right, Noah Lyles in his red outfit tonight here. His mom's there. Is that pearls now Lyles is wearing? I guess he's a fashion statement here. Some people like the fashion. I'm not here for the fashion. I'm here for the running. But if you like the fashion too, I'm not against that. Yeah. So Lyles, there's Williams. Let's see. Should get something fast. And look at this. Kung Fu Kenny is back. Looking good this season. A couple good runs over 200 meters this season. It looks lean, in good shape here. So let's see what we'll get. Let me check the comments real quick. Hi Debbie, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing really well. Yeah. Hopefully unfortunately I can't even figure out what's going on in cricket. I may have to put it in my ears. But yeah, thanks everyone. I appreciate all the regulars, and if it's the first time also, I really appreciate you on the channel. And all right, so they're getting in the blocks right now. Let's see what we get here. Williams next to Lyles. Yeah, and Hall is not there. Sorry, I made a mistake in the first one for sure. Yeah. Looks like they're gonna get them to stand up again. Something was wrong with the bib for Lyles. I don't know. So it's Thomas, Beard, Bednarak. This is Noah got white nails. It's interesting here. All right, they're in a set position. Ah, Lyles is taking it now. Kenny is coming as well. Kung Fu Kenny is coming. So Lyles wheels this 980, just ahead of Kenny 982. The wind is 3 meters per second, so it's way over the legal limit there. Smith, JT Smith finished in third, 994. Kendall Williams 997, but 994, and it's like 9.938, I think, as the end there. So Kung Fu Kenny looks good there. Noah looks decent in the start, not particularly great. Williams came out a little bit better than he did, but I'm looking at it again. Yeah. Smith got out really well, but it's kind of hard to judge it from there. But Kenny was running really well too. He looks comfortable. Looks like he had some more in the arm movement as well. So yeah, as expected, I think. As expected. Let's see. Mark Green is saying Jamaica will have new surprises. Yeah, we hope so. I mean, I like to see emerging stars, as you say, new surprising. Yes, all in the game. Big tailwinds. I don't like this, and this is why I always have a problem with Haywood Field because of how it's designed. There's, it allows too much breeze at different times, and it really kills it. Sometimes it's just barely above the legal limit. In this case, it isn't, and then it really spoils stuff. Mindset is saying, I'm looking to see how Coleman goes. His start will be a problem for Noah. Definitely, I think his start is a problem for most. For some people, Christian Coleman might be the best starter of all time. I don't really know. It's really hard to gauge. Probably is. He's in the mix. He starts well. Sung Bing Chang, I think, starts really well too. I mean, I also think people like Asafa Paul got out really well too. So it varies, but Noah's but Coleman is really special with his start. He's probably the best there for sure. All in the game is saying the 200 guys in Noah, Lindsay, and Kenny could be the 100-meter team. It looks like that. It could be that. You never know. Let's see what Coleman has to offer. And Style Baymore says, my picks for top three: Noah, Coleman, Kenny B. Yeah. The first semifinal, I'm reflecting on it, and thanks everyone for joining. I'm here thinking like how hard Fred had to work. Yeah, I think you really have to work really hard tonight in order to get into the mix. Yeah, but yeah. So 2 semifinals down. Fred Curley is still there with his 9.89. I think he might make it. Miller has the 994, which is 9.937, and JT Smith has 994, but officially 9.938. So he's in the second position now, and Kendall Williams 997. So we've definitely lost Ronnie Baker from the final, who ran 998, and anything over 998 and you're gone from the final. Likewise, Austin, who also had another sub 10. So we're just waiting to see what we'll get out of the third and final semifinal. Clearly, if you are watching the race as an athlete, you realize that you want this to be a super fast race because you want to get into it. This second race obviously had a big tailwind here, 3 meters. The first one had 2.6. So we'll see what we get here. Let me get back to some comments that you have here, and don't forget to put your comments in. We got 300 people on the live. Please hit that like button. I really appreciate it. MVE says Coleman looks like a lean, mean running machine. Yeah, looking really good. I'm looking at Aaron Reese right here doing a little hammer throw. Let's see. Yeah, what was that? 71, 20, 21. Gets her right into the third position off of that throw. Looks good. IDK says Kristen Millie quality right now. Oh yeah, I mean the kid Miller. I guess you mean Miller, right? The kid is special right there. Yeah, kid is special. Wish they just took top three from each semi, like the new World Athletics rules. I agree. I really agree as well. Especially when you think about the variability of the wind, it really messes things up. You know what I'm saying? Because you get a 3.0, you get 2.6. This might be a negative win. It's not going to be, but and then you're in and around the bubble. Did you see Snoop Dogg running the 200 meters with Atabolan today with a bit of fun? The crowd loved it. I did not actually see the race, but I saw an article about it or a little bit of a thing, a picture of it. But yeah, old guys running is always a concern for me. So final semifinal on the track. Unfortunately, I can't show the race, Craig. It's a copyright violation. I'm just doing a watch along. All right. So as I said, I'm thinking it's Kristen Coleman and Hickling, and we'll see. That was my kind of initial picks. I believe that was my pick early on. I think Coleman and Hickling will take this for sure, and let's see what we get. They're in a set position. Ooh. Lovely start by Christian Coleman as usual, and his motoring away got into top end speed, and he's actually relaxing now to me. He's still pumping, but he's relaxing across the line. 986, a positive 1.5 reading, so that's a legal time. Season best for Kristen Coleman, probably the best we've seen this evening, obviously, because when you consider that the win is in the league, when you consider that we got a legal win. So Coleman, 986, Hicklin coming across the line in 995. Those two qualify. Kyrie King 997 unfortunately didn't get it, which is unfortunate because he didn't get the Kendall Williams from Heat 2 obviously gets through, but that is a 3 meters per second win, so definitely an advantage there. And yeah, so the final will be those two from the last semifinal, Kristen Coleman, Brandon Hickling. In Heat 2, we get Noah Lyles going through, along with Kenny Bednarak, JT Smith, and Kendon Williams also qualifying. And from semifinal number 1, Lindsay, Fred Curley, and Kristen Miller are the 3 qualifiers from that semifinal. So the final for tonight, all set. Your thoughts on what we'll get? Your thoughts on what we'll get? You give the call there. We're gonna get some 800 meters. I think Mo will be on the track. I'm also intrigued to see what we'll get from her, which will effectively be our second race of the season. Imran, do you think we'll be knocked out tonight against South Africa? I don't know. What West Indies are what 63 for 2. No idea. I'm hoping that we don't get the West Indies doesn't get knocked out tonight, but we'll see. MV is saying so. Miller made it. The kid made it. He did. He did make it. Yeah. So Kristen Miller made it, and that's really good to see. Hopefully he can run a blinder again. Whatever happens, he's already done something fantastic. Yeah, this is gonna be a great final. Noah's gonna take it though. Yeah, we'll see. He might. I think he's in the best. Prior to this, I think he's in the best shape, but Coleman may have something to say. I think the key thing for Noah Lyles is not to get left behind too far. And Coleman really needs a flyer in terms of one of his great starts. If he gets that, then maybe it's like trying to get him at the line, but we'll see. Kyrie should be in the final over Kendall Williams. Couldn't agree more. All in the game. It's just really one of those things there. Imagine you going through with a 997 with a positive 3.0 win, and you ran in a legal win of 1.5 and you can't make it through. And immediately, as you mentioned earlier, this is the new World Athletics rules. They should have applied this here. Top three, and you're good to go. The Hunter report says the hot 100-meter tonight. Definitely, somebody's probably gonna get hunted down tonight. So a little play on words there, not particularly good. Uh, it's a hot one. A fight between Noah and Coleman. Kenny for third. So nobody giving Fred Curley a chance. Mindset. I think Lyles had it hit his peak already and might be going off whilst Coleman is rounding up to his peak roundabout now. We'll get a sense, we'll get a sense for sure. You would think that Noah would want to come to the national championships and be in very good shape. Not necessarily have to be at your best, given the kind of caliber of athlete he is, but especially since he's contesting both events and he doesn't always have a consistent start, it's quite possible that if one of those, you could find yourself not making it into a final. But I think he should be fine. He should be fine. MV is saying, I'm pulling for Coleman for the win, Lyles second, and I love Kenny, but I really want to see Miller do something special. Yeah, so the question you have to ask yourself here when you think about Miller is, can he come back to back and run that type of time, right? I don't know, right? He's a kid. So he has to come back and run. I don't know what it's going to take to. If he runs his PB 993, that's probably all we can ask for. Can he go faster than that? I just don't know if he has the kind of. Let me put it this way. I would be skeptical if he actually can repeat those fast times back to back, especially the kind of work that you have to put in order to get that type of time. But we'll see. Hunter saying Lyles 60 suggests he'll PR this year. Plus, he got everyone breathing down his neck with real heat. He's going for the stars. Yeah, I think he has to understand that if he doesn't get it right, he could be finding himself wanting. Right? He saw that recently in Jamaica when Oblique Seville got out and there wasn't much he could do to get back into the race. He was storming back, but by that time it was a little bit too late. So the key is to make sure that you're in the mix. Life with Janjan, the win isn't legal now time. No, it's not. But so it won't count as any legal run. But when what we were talking about here is the way in which the qualifications work, in the sense that it's just the time, no matter what kind of wind you're running. So if you look at what happened there, Kyrie King ran 997, so did Kendall Williams, but Kendall Williams 997 was clearly at an advantage in terms of running with a tailwind of 3 meters per second, and in heat 3 it's within the legal limits. So that's where it gets a bit dicey, and clearly heat 3 is technically faster than it's definitely faster than heat 2 if you adjust for time, if you adjust for wind reading or something like that. I think that's what All in the Game and I were kind of going back and forth on. I'm missing a lot of these things here. Snoop Dogg pole vaulting. Now that's a sight to see. That seems very dangerous if that's happening. Julius, thanks for being here. Being Coleman is favorite to win. Yeah, looking good. I think he's looking good. He came out there. He looks a bit comfortable at the end there. Could go faster. These guys aren't playing. You don't want to play tonight, because if you miss this opportunity, it's 4 years on, and I don't know where Coleman might be in 4 years, or any of these athletes, right? Did pole vault this ad is his personal. You're a former pole vaulter. I always have mad respect for pole vaulters. It's just outstanding. The kid has already won by making the final. Yeah, Miller making the final, Kristen Miller making the final. Very special. I don't know. he must be chuffed. His family, his support system, everybody is just really supporting this kid. I'm seeing Anna Hall here. I saw her a couple of rounds earlier today. She looked like she's coming back from injury nicely. So hopefully we'll get something there. Mindset is saying at this point from the eye test is telling me Coleman will beat Lyles tonight. He just looks good to me. Yeah, the eye test seems that way. I think so. I don't know what happened to Abby. I don't. Did she pull out? Uh, I know she pull. I mean, she's coming back from injury, obviously. Miller has already made the team relay pool. Yeah. Did he? The 100 meet, the 100 meet. What? This 100 find out tonight is gonna be like an Olympic final. I guess you mean the final. Okay. So I read it again. This 100 meet. I guess you're saying 100-meter final tonight is gonna be like an Olympic final. That's all. That's all good. These. I get. Maybe you're saying that's how good these guys are. Yeah, it is. I mean, but I mean, we've been missing some good people as well. We're thinking about Oblique Seville. We're thinking about, I mean, even the Olympic champion seems to be getting back in shape. Who knows what the grass might do? But yeah, the women's 800 meters semi-final about to get off here. We're looking at the first heat. We have the outstanding LSU athlete, Michaela Rose, if I'm not mistaken, who has some Jamaican heritage. All in the game. You can check on that for me or somebody. Obviously, Athing Mu is in there. It's going to be good. This is a tough final there, semi-final as well. Yeah, let's see what we'll get. I want to see what Athing Mu does. Whitaker is in the mix as well. Yeah, so they're off here on this 800 meters. So top two automatically make it into the final on, when is it, on Monday? Is it tomorrow or the day after? I can't remember. And now we'll definitely see what we'll get from Athing Mu. Hasn't run before the Olympic trials. Our first race was in the opening round and struggling from some hamstring issues here. We'll see what we'll get here. Michaela Rose is actually moving out there. She's taking it out. This is ridiculous here from Rose. What is she doing? Is she going to go in? She's probably going to go around on sub 58 if she continues at this pace. So I like 51 here. It's going to be sub 58 for sure at 400 meters. Yeah, it's like 57, 78, 75-ish there. And she's like moving. And she's definitely taking out the pace here, Roses. Athing Mu is more rather is leading the next pack, but this is like a 10-meter lead here. There can this is a death trap here. So Grace is in the mix, Whitaker is in the mix as well. But Michaela Rose is going to come off the bend with a commanding lead here. Can she actually keep this lead? Athing Mu is actually making a couple strides here to get back into it. And Rose is looking back. Grace is coming as well. Athing Mu is moving. And they're going to catch Michaela Rose now. They're going to go past her. Athing Mu passes her. So does Kate Grace. Ooh! Hits the clock. That doesn't look good. Hopefully she's okay. That's a nasty fall there from Kate Grace. Athing Mu wins this 158.84. She doesn't look particularly comfortable, breathing a bit heavily, but wins the race. Oh my God! Hopefully Grace is okay. 158.97 for Kate Grace and Michaela Rose at 159 flat. So the automatic qualifiers are Mo and Grace. Ooh, she hits the shoulder there. That is not good at all. I'll get to your comments in a second here, guys. I know I'm missing all of that. Let me go from the bottom here. All in the game is saying Rose tactical racing needs work. I mean, I don't know what happened there. She went out 57 75 for the opening 400 meters. Coming off the top of the bend, look as if she's. Whew, this is not good. She could have heard her. Maybe hopefully she doesn't disconnect her shoulder or anything like that. She has to wait. 159 flat. Not particularly fast time anyway. So I don't know. Yeah, she needs to. Yeah, and then she left the inside wide open. It's not a good look there. She should have locked that off for sure. And looking around was actually not particularly smart as well. MVE saying if Whitaker makes this final, I don't see her being a factor in the final. Yeah, I mean I don't know what she was doing there to be honest with you, guys. I know you guys putting in tons of comments. Sometimes I miss them. Uh, Probably gotta get some super chats going so I can remember if it's what you're saying there. But Mo wins this 158.84. I don't know how much more she has in the legs, to be honest with you. Rose needs to go back and talk to the coach because she left that wide open on the inside, and you never want to leave your inside open for the oncoming runner to take you over. And because of that, she missed an automatic spot into the final. After running a blinder in the 400 meters, I thought she ran an excellent race up to about, just about 100 meters or so to go. She was in a really commanding position, but that's not particularly good. All right, we're gonna get Heat 2 is gonna be fantastic as well. Semifinal 2. I mean, this is gonna be good running there. Experience, obviously. You have Ajay Wilson, Raven Rogers, really good athletes there. I think maybe Heat 3 might be the fastest. I don't know if it will be. Nina Atkins, I think, ran 157 this season already. Herta Klecker too is also a great athlete in terms of being in form. So it's gonna be tough. I mean, if you see that 159 is on the bubble here, 158, you gotta want to think about running a bit faster than this. Let's see where we are. MVE saying, not surprised Mo won, even though she did not win her heat. She looked easy, just shaking off the race rust. So not surprised at tonight's turnout. Yeah, I mean, she hasn't been racing, so it's never good to come to a national trials without any kind of a race under your belt, just to get the legs going. I mean, she's a special athlete, a generational talent, so she can do that. I don't see 3 people beating her unless women are gonna run one. I don't know what kind of shape Mo is in, unless we're gonna get some women running 155s, but I don't know. Oh, is she? Oh, that's really good. That's really good. All in game just saying Kate Grace is another new mom. Verona Hooker says, I want Coleman to win. No, hype too much. Okay. I mean, personality, I guess you need that in track and field sometimes, but I hear you. Kristen Coleman is more of on the more reserved side, but we'll see. It's just difference in personalities. A mindset is saying if Grace executes better, she could be a bit of a problem. She needs to adjust the tactic a bit. Yeah, I think she didn't run a good tactical race either in the NCAA final. I don't know what's happening there. She went out really hard. I don't know if that was the plan, to go out really hard and just die on that, but she could have gotten that. Yeah. Michaela Rose cannot a front run every race like that. That's how Juliet Whittaker beat her in both the indoor and outdoor finals. I was just reflecting on that because I'm thinking about what she was doing the other day in Oregon, and I was like, she messed up on that. So yeah. Which finals? The 100-meter finals. That's what time is that? 10:48 or some Eastern Standard Time, I think. We'll put that back in the chat in a second. I'm just seeing a picture there of Raven Rogers. It's gonna be an interesting race, guys. Good quality athletes here, and Heptathlon is really in good form as well. I think she's gone 158 this season already. So they're off. They're called back. You often don't see false starts in 800 meters, but not quite sure what's happening here. Raven Rogers looked like she came out too early. Green card. So that's a good one. All in the game is saying women's 800 is stacked competitive. Women's 100 / competitive as women's 100 meters. You mean worldwide? Yeah, I agree with you. I'm thinking if you're not running one, I think 155 low is the minimum for the podium at the Olympics. I'm just saying. I just think that will happen, or at least be in that shape. Doesn't have to run that time. Yeah, I always have to say that clear because you want to be in that type of shape to guarantee yourself on the podium. MVE is saying, I've watched Ajay for years. She knows how to navigate the rounds. Afrobody, what's going on? It's been a long time. How can I watch US trials from Canada? Very good question. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe someone, if anyone can help him out. I have no idea. Yeah. Thanks for joining from Canada. All right, so they're gonna get back in the blocks there. Rogers, Baker, Gearing, Keegan, Heptathlon, Ajay Wilson, Hunter, Tobias, and Lipsey. Clean start this time. And Rogers is taking it out a little bit. Coming over now to the cutover point. Let's see what we get here. Ajay Wilson just stepped back a little bit there, kind of adjusting. Rogers is there as well. Not moving a particularly great place. It's like about 36, 37 seconds here. This is probably going to be closer to a minute on the first lap here. Because the first lap went what? Was it 50? So Heptathlon is going to come around for the 400 here. So we're looking at 59.85 for the first lap, ahead of Rogers here. And Baker in the mix as well. Ajay Wilson just on the edge of Raven Rogers here. This is going to be a much slower time than the first heat. Definitely going to be a much slower time. I only think at this stage, 124 is still on the back stretch. It's going to be 2 minutes and change. Has to be 2 minutes and change by my back of the hand calculation. And so Ajay Wilson's coming around here. Now you got to start sprinting. Heptathlon is still in the lead. And Baker's there in the mix as well. Ajay Wilson. Raven Rogers is going really wide now. She's in lane 3 there. So there's a bunch of women. Ajay Wilson's in there as well. She's like struggling. Heptathlon, Ajay Wilson looks like Rogers rather. It looks like Raven Rogers to the line ahead of Heptathlon and ahead of Ajay Wilson. Let's see that. That's 201.08 ahead of 201.11 and 2.0125. Only the top two will qualify from this. Only the top two. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, right? All in the game. Only the top two will make it out of this. Look at that. Raven Rogers there. I thought Ajay Wilson was going to do it, but she had nothing left. She was really struggling to do that. Baker was trying to hold back, kind of going in reverse there, head going up too high. Heptathlon is there struggling to keep form, and Raven Rogers here comes through and finds a dip at the end here. And so Rogers takes it ahead of Heptathlon. Ajay Wilson, unfortunately, is done. Yeah, Rose and Withika still on the bubble there, right? Right, all in the game. Yeah, that's where we are. Yeah, because 159 flat and 159.51. So you have to go faster than 159 or 150 or win 159.58 if you wanna. And and also Christy Schofield is Schofield rather is what 2 minutes flat 64. And so a couple women went well in the over 70 meters in the women's hammer, it looks like there. Yeah. Appreciate everybody on the live. I'm in a special studio here tonight. You've seen me a lot here for the next coming weeks until I get back to my regular space. A final semifinal or third of three rather uh, coming up here. We got Nina Atkins, I think, already with a 157 this season, if I'm not mistaken. 157.98 this season. Yeah. Schlachten Hoffner as well. Hoffen rather in the mix. Wiley's there, Page, Clark, Ali Wilson, and Watson. So top two gets through automatically. And if you want to be in the bubble, you have to be running faster than 2 minutes and change. And obviously the 159 flat and 159, I think 58. So they're out off going. Going to get the cut over here now. It doesn't look like the pace is really high. We're at what, like 24, 25, 26 meters, seconds rather here, and you getting around that first bend on that bend. This probably will be close to 1 minute as for the first 400 meters. This is really a slow kind of a jog here. I don't know if I like these strategies. I think it's probably everyone wants to be kicked, but Wilson is kind of moving, but no one is moving with her. Wilson has like a 4 meter, 5 meter lead here at the bell. This is a 59.95 on the TV here. Yeah, but she's moving. Atkins in third position. I'm not quite sure who's in second here. This is gonna be a slow time as well. So Wilson's still in the lead. Wiley's there. Atkins, Watson's in the mix. Just coming around there, about 60 something meters left. Yeah. Schlottenoff in the mix as well. But Wilson's still leading. Akins is coming as well, near Akins. So it's going to be Wilson comfortably at 2 minutes 29 against Akins rather 2 minutes 87. Quite slow. These are pretty slow. These two semifinals quite slow. And so those are the two athletes that will qualify. So we'll get 5 athletes coming from heat number 1 into the final. So Mo gets in, Grace gets in automatically, along with Rose, Whitaker, and Schofield. And if I'm pronouncing that correctly, then you have Rogers, Heptathlon, Wilson, and Akins. That's your final for the U.S. Championships. Interesting. Let me get some of these things here. All in the game is saying Akins conserve energy there. Yeah, she didn't really push it. I thought she'd have gone out harder, but she has a decent kick anyway, so she's in the mix. But you don't want to mess around with the time. MV saying slow 800 only benefit those athletes with deadly kick. Exactly. Yeah. Blackwood came on saying Bianca Knight thinks the US will sweep the 100 the women 100-meter the 100-meter women at Paris. I just laugh with all respect to Jefferson. I don't see her beating Alfred and Jackson. Yeah, I'm I can't yeah, I don't know how you see that, to be honest with you, in terms of a sweep. So she's saying TT Terry and Jefferson. I don't know. I mean, that would be, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That's not, I can't say it will happen, but I doubt that. I just don't, I don't know if they're at that level yet, you know. I mean, I suspect, I definitely think if all goes well with Jackson, she'll be in 10-6 shape at best, at worst rather, coming to the championships in Paris. So we'll see. I mean, we don't know. I mean, we'll uh wait to see. You know, it's all these early predictions. You get excited from the US trials. The thing I'll say about the US women is that they've put the world on notice. They've said they're ready, right? You have a woman running 1071 that could easily have gone maybe 10-6 for sure. There's work to be done in the first phase. If she fixes that, who knows what can happen. She's also the defending world champion. You got a PB out of Jefferson, 1080. I mean, there's probably more there. I don't know. Maybe there may not be more either. You don't really know. But assuming there could be more, how much more? I don't know. Is there another tenth of a second that they can get down to? I don't know. Uh, and I don't know what kind of shape Terry will be in, but we'll see. I think Julian Alfred is gonna come to the Olympics in very low 10-7, probably high 10-6 shape, possibly. Whether you run that, I don't know, but I'm talking shape, the kind of shape. And I just suspect that the same will happen for two of the big three from Jamaica. I, I just, until we'll gauge, we can gauge later this week when we see what happens at the Jamaica national championships. We'll get a better sense there. But then it's still 6 weeks or so, or a little less than 6 weeks to the Olympics. So we'll get a sense, right? But to say that we'll see a sweep right now, I don't know. If they came out and they all ran 10-6, 10-61, 10-63, then I would be like, whoa, this is special right here. We didn't see that. So I can't even go down that road. Uh, Yeah, I don't know how much laughing I'll do. Maybe she's optimistic for it. If she is this the prediction, or she's just optimistic that she'll see a sweep. You know, obviously the Jamaicans have swept twice in recent years. Last Olympics, obviously, swept in 2008 when they had gold, silver, silver. Let's see what's going here. RJ is nearly turned 30, but is running like a 35-year-old. Yeah, she was struggling at the end. TT will not likely make it out of the semis in Paris. Yeah, I could see that too. It's gonna be tough. Men's 400-meter semifinals coming up right now. We're looking at some interesting guys. You got Matt Bowling here as well. Quincy Hall. See what we'll get from him. There's Bailey, Stewart. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get a sense right now. They're in the blocks. It's good moving there. Bowling is like tearing it up on the backstretch. What is he doing there out there in lane? What is that? Lane 8? He's gonna get run down doing that. Quincy Hall looking good, like he's making good measure here. Bowling is still running hard, but he's gonna get pulled down. Quincy Hall is coming through now. He's taking the lead. Good stride pattern there. And he's gonna probably shut it down now. Comes across the line, 44, 42, not just ahead, quite ahead of Chris Bailey, who gets second place, 44.82. Matt Bolin, 44.91. He's on the bubble right there, 44.91. Can that get you into the final? It could. It's a good run. That is not a good dive there from Matt Bolin. It looks like he's taking off there. But Hall came off that curve really comfortable. Probably took a check here. I did a check right there and realized no one was close, and he comfortably got across the line. And Chris Bailey takes the next automatic spot. Yeah. Let's see where we are. Please do not count out Shelly and Elaine. You guys are in for a surprise. Oh, I never count out Shelly in for a surprise. I've always said, and I've said it again, it's the greatest 100-meter athlete we've ever seen, man or woman. The career, in terms of the career, no one will ever touch that. And it's hard to get her off the podium. I think last year I did this video. Was it last year or the year before? I got to ask my producer when I was like, when is Marcus for when Shelly and Fraser Price should retire? It's like there's one thing to lose, but can you force her off the podium? And it hasn't happened. We'll see what we'll get from her this year. Obviously, started late, did a little warm-up run last week. We'll get to see. Elaine, the thing on Elaine is whether or not she'll find fitness. It doesn't look good. Definitely doesn't look good, but I do hope she can find her way at the trials and do something, because I guess if she makes a team and can have 6 weeks to prepare, you never know. But it's tough. It's tough. It was a real nice moment. This is MV here. It was a real nice moment to see the training partners sweep the trials, but Olympics is different. Oh, you mean okay. You meaning the Dennis Mitchell training partners, yeah. For them to replicate in Paris, I mean Jefferson and TT will have to die for it. Yeah. It's no one is they're not gonna give it away, yeah, for sure in Paris. You gotta run hard. A lot of people will come in good shape too, so we'll see. John Jones is saying it will probably take 9.78 to win the 100 meters. Slowest win might be 985. You mean for later this evening, 978? Yeah, it could be. I don't know if they're running 978 in a 1.5 win, but we could see possibly. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Come on, baby, Quincy Wilson, make the final. Please, like Kristen Miller. Yeah, I would love to see this. Let's see what we get from the lad. The lad has been a special athlete here. I mean, you saw those 4x4s at the pen relays where he's just ridiculous. That kid is ridiculous. Christina Varnes and prediction on what Quincy Wilson will run. The same from yesterday, I would say, at least the same time. I mean, he ran actually at the pen relays when he ran those back-to-back 44 splits, really quick time. It suggests to me he's in great shape. That was in April though. I don't know what the program looks like. He's a child by every measure. We'll see. When you look at him, he's like not a lick of muscle. Like the breeze could blow him down. He has to be a special talent. If he can replicate the time he ran yesterday, it would be more than special. More than special. Courtney could sneak for third, maybe our second judge. What? For our second judge from the semifinal. You mean, okay, Courtney Lindsay, yeah. Okay. We'll see. So they're doing the lineup right now for the semifinal, second semifinal of the men's 400 meters. And they were just showing the superstar Quincy Wilson from Bullis, the kid superstar. Yeah. Yeah. There's Vernon Norwood. You know, Norwood finds his way in many places. Bryce Deadman as well. You can never count him out. Yeah. But I want to see what the kid will do. I'm sure he's going to try to run a blinder here. There's Elijah Goodwin as well. Patterson. I think he's unfazed for sure. You have to think that Wilson will be unfazed. I mean, what does he have to lose? Let's see what we get. All right, so they're in the blocks. Just a shot here of Vernon Norwood in lane 7. The veteran. And they're off. Wilson is there. He's not taking the stagger on Vernon Norwood. Norwood is still running really good. Is that Bryce Deadman behind him? I'm trying to look. Yeah. Wilson is not coming off the curve really well. He has to sprint really hard. So there's Vernon Norwood there. Bryce Deadman, it looks like, is coming through. Deadman is coming through. He's going to go ahead of Vernon Norwood. And Quincy Wilson's just running through too for third. 44-44 for Bryce Deadman to win. Vernon Norwood 44-50. Wilson 44-59. Where's that in the standings right now? So Wilson now is he's on the bubble. That's another youth world record, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, PBs yesterday and today. This is special. Absolutely special from a 16-year-old. Look at that. Whoa. This is ridiculous. Thanks everyone for joining me. I'm just like blind. But look at the kid just running around there. Bryce Deadman really looked good. He came off the curve really good, got into commanding position. Norwood trying to keep form there. And Wilson was swimming a bit, but how can we critique a 16-year-old who's might get into this final right now? He definitely might get into this final. Yeah, he's what, 44-59. That is, yeah, Matt Bolin ran 44-91 in the first heat. Wilson is 44-59. So he's the first one off the block so far. So we'll see what we get in the final. Obviously, you're gonna have Michael Norman. I mean, the kid ran everything. He's really good. Let's see what we got in the comments here. Wilson can do it. He did it, I think. I mean, whatever happens, I think he'll make it into the final at this moment. Quincy reminds me of Sydney when she was the youngest to make the Olympic track field. Yeah, special talent. Yeah, he's super talented here. He's special talent. Man-child, 44.6 is a man time. It is. I mean, that is outrageous there. And to come back and run back to back, PBs, that's really special there. All in the game is saying yes, Quincy. Hey, thanks everyone for sticking around, enjoying the watch along. This is a great night for track and field. If you're in the cricket, looks like West Indies are 103 for 6. Yeah, it is a new record, new under 18 record as well for Quincy Wilson. 16 years old and running that kind of time. Man, that's super special there. That's super special. And you have to think a 16-year-old, his body cannot take the workload, definitely can't take the weight room work required for the 400 meters. I mean, if he doesn't get injured, I mean, the sky's the limit for this kid. Yeah. Yeah, I think he'll make it for sure. I mean, we'll wait and see. I don't know if it depends on how fast the other heat goes, but unless these guys are gonna pop some 43s and very low 44s, I think he's seen a final for sure. I would say that I would agree with that. Stay curious. Yeah, Wilson's gonna make it to the final. Yeah, right now he's the first of the three on the bubble, so I think I don't know if we'll get three other people running faster, but we'll wait and see. Fingers crossed that he definitely makes the final. He more than deserves this. It's a great storyline. But to run these times back to back, yesterday a PB, was it yesterday or the day before PB, and to come back again and do it again this evening, another U record. It's crazy. Yeah. He makes the final and he's running the mixed 4x4 for me in Paris. Yeah. I mean, give the kid a suit. You've seen those Ralph Lauren suits. Give him something. You know, uh, we'll see. So one of these days here, it's a great track and field. Obviously, we have one semifinal left. After that, we'll get the women's 400-meter final. There's the men's 3,000 steeplechase. There's the 200 meters in the heptathlon. And then the night ends with in about an hour and a minute, the men's 100 meters. Oh, I now seen the 200 meters with Atta Bolden, Wallace Spearman, and Snoop Dogg. This is not particularly good for Snoop. What time did they run? Snoop Dogg did a 34.4 in 200 meters. That's not bad. It's pretty good. All right, so Mike Norman back this year, cleared his head, returned to the sport. His stint with the 100 meters seems to be over, and he's back to the event that we know he should be doing and the one that I think he's most talented for. And so let's see what we'll get from Mike Norman. Already has gone 44.21 this season. We saw that in was it the LA meet he ran that? Yeah. Stay Curious is saying, imagine he runs the ankle leg. I mean, he's been running a lot of relays this year, so ran a lot of ankle legs for Bullis as well. Those two spectacular runs in the pen relays. They dropped the baton, I think, and still got back into it. All in the game. Snoop is forever young. Yeah, he finds his way in everything here. All right, third semifinal about to get started here, and let's take a look at it. And they're out, and there's a recall gun. Not quite sure what happened there. As we know, just to be clear, I think most of you know this. Bynum seems to be coming up here. What is I'm not seeing the reaction time. You cannot start faster than 100 milliseconds. That's the rule in track and field, which I don't like because there's studies showing that athletes can react as fast as 0.8. So let's see what happens there. So it's just a warning here. So it's not a false start, just a warning. Yeah. 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 Norman looks a little bit leaner than he did in LA. I could be wrong, but let's see what he does here. 400 meters is wide open worldwide, I think. At least I'll say until I see how good Stephen Gardner gets into form. If he gets into great form, then I'll give it to him. But he's coming back from injury as well, so we have to see. But you want to see a fit Mike Norman. All right, let's see what we get here. No one is really making up the stagger. Norman doesn't seem to be making much of a stagger. He's gaining a little bit. Now he is on the backstretch. Yeah. This is very slow. Let's see what he does here. So Norman is going to come off the curve really comfortable. But that's like 30 something. This is going to be 45s here. This is not going to be fast. But he's comfortable. He's going to shut it down. He's looking around. There's nobody. He's just kind of checking. And he gets across the line 45-30 for Norman. That is as easy as they come. McRae seems to be second here in 45-59, and those are the only two that will go through. So it's official. Wilson makes it into the final, and so does Bowling and Robinson. So Robinson and Bowling from Heat 1 makes it into the 400-meter final. The youngster, the world under 18 record holder, makes it into the final as well. And only Mike Norman and McRae makes it into the final of the men's 400 meters. This is really easy checking for Mike Norman. He didn't even break a sweat on the home stretch. Yeah. Didn't even make break a sweat. Let me get to some of your comments. Don't forget to put your comments in, your anything you want to talk about, your questions, your comments. This is your live, a very interactive place here. I appreciate all of you guys hanging around, and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, notification bell. That's the best way. Let's see what All in the Game is saying. The women run the anchor leg in the mixed 4x4. Yeah, exactly. Would put Jamisha Ford there. She's the best anchor. Yeah, you're right on that. Do you think any of the American men can challenge Stephen Gardner as he defends his Olympic title in Paris? I have to see what kind of shape Gardner is in. Last time I saw Gardner was in. Did he run after Ostrava? I could check on that. But he was at the Ostrava meet, and he ran. What was it? Was it 44.3? I can't remember. But Alexander Dumas kind of running him down, I believe. I think if Stephen Gardner is in great form, you're not beating him. You're just not beating him. But he has to get back to that form. And he's coming off injury. So we'll see. There's Wade Van Niekerk might be saying something as well. I mean, I don't know what you'll get from the reigning world champion out of Jamaica. He doesn't seem to be in any good shape. Seems to be struggling with injury. All in the Game is saying Sean is still yet to run an open 400 meter. Has a week left to run qualifying time. Oh yeah, she doesn't. I forgot she doesn't have the qualifying time. That is interesting there. Very interesting. I don't know what kind of shape Mila Weber is in, but she definitely needs to get on it if we're gonna see. Domination. I think you're stay curious saying domination. I think you mean in respect to how easy that was for Mike Norman. If not, you could clarify. Jay Ellis is saying Stevens on vacation. Come on, Jay Ellis. I don't know that. Yeah, come on. Don't get us into any trouble here. All in the Game, Bowling and Justin Robinson make the final. I need to read these comments before I put them up on the screen. I gotta talk to my producer. MV saying, I'm wondering why Shawnee hasn't made an appearance in an individual 400 meter as well. It's a good question. We need to get somebody on the line to find that out. The game is on your local NBC channel and Peacock. I guess you're responding to somebody who wants to see the game. Okay. Dean the Dream, will you be going live during the Olympics? I certainly will. I'll be doing watch alongs and reactions. And actually, we're working on a video to come out on the track a little explain the stuff. So hopefully, you guys will enjoy that as well and support it. And we have a bunch of different stuff that we're trying to do to build up in Paris. As long as things don't go haywire around here, we'll definitely get stuff going. She was in the world relay. Yeah, she was there, but I just don't know what's going on. We have to see, where she is. As all in the game is saying, and I didn't realize that. Thanks for pointing it out. Where did he say it? Yeah, he was saying she has a week left to run the qualifying time because she was out for a year with the baby, came back late last year, but yeah. Westerners are struggling there. 118 for 8, 17.5 overs. They doesn't seem as if they're gonna make it to 20 overs. That's interesting. All right, yeah. So that is the end of the 400-meter semifinals. Next on the track will be the women's 400-meter final. Can I get a prediction for that? Can I get a prediction for that? I still don't know what we're gonna get it. Is it Kaylin Brown? Yeah. Let's see where we're going here. Two high school athletes made the finals in their event and the relay pool so far. Wow. Now it is special. They say the Olympics, is a stage for greatness. It brings out special things. And Miller and Wilson, I wouldn't have believed it if you told me, to be honest with you. I just didn't think that would have happened. I saw them. We saw both of them running really good times, but I didn't anticipate that come the Olympic trials, the US trials in particular as well, very difficult teams to make, that they will find themselves in the final of a 100-meter final and a 400-meter final. So that is special there. All right, so we're looking now at the 400 meters. A good look here at Kaylin Brown, who is part of that massive sweep there from the University of Arkansas, led by the Jamaican Nikisha Price. Herbie Jackson is from Indianapolis. I know those places very well. And we'll see. A bunch of collegiate athletes there. Look at Little. I am surprised that Shamier Little is here. I mean, Shamier Little said she was running her legs for the first race. Then she came up. Interesting stuff. So let us know, put last chance to put your comments here. All in the game is saying, we'll be way too bold and say two collegians and Caleb Brown and Alia Butler make the team. I mean, who knows? Hey, it's the stuff for greatness here. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Good crowd there at Haywood Field. And they're off. Let's see. I think Brown is making up the stagger there. It's hard to see here. Looks like Brown is making it up there. It's hard to see. Little is in the mix as well. Herbie Jackson's there too. But no one is taking it. Who's going to come off the top here? Is that the girl from Georgia? Butler is in the front here. And Ellis is making a mad dash out of lane 9. Or not lane 9, lane 8 rather. Look at that. Kendall is going to come through there. 49-46. Oh my God. You can't make this up. Look at that. 49-46 is a personal best for Kendall Ellis. I didn't see this coming. I mean, she was, she looked good in the making coming back here, but I didn't see this coming. And Butler makes her way on the team. 49-71. Alexis Holmes finds a way. 49-78. Personal best for the top three finishers. And Brown just didn't have enough. Ran out of steam. 50.07. Hayes made the last Olympics. 50-55. Whitaker 50-68. Herbie Jackson 50-74. Ford 50-80. And Shamier Little 59-6. It's really good running here. Three women going sub 50 and everyone running sub 51. This was a healthy final here. I mean, Ellis find her way from lane 8. Look at that. Built really well as well. I like her build. I mean, where did she go to school? Southern California, I think. Look at that. So it's going to be Ellis, Butler, and Holmes for the United States this season. I think you're going to need some low 48s to win in the Olympics. This is really interesting. Hi, everyone. Let me get back to these comments here. Start with all in the game at the bottom. Don't think I'm giving him special treatment, but I just see that first. Georgia will have an incredible women's sprint crew next year with Kayla Jackson, Autumn Wilson, Adeja Hodge, and Aliyah Butler. You're very, very sure, very sure. Stay Curious is saying, didn't even notice Holmes made it. She did. She did. Franklin says, wait and see this weekend Jamaica trials. What are you? Oh, you expecting Price to run something special there or so? Let me see where I had where I missed all these comments here. Yeah, Stay Curious. Kenna Williams is U.S. champion. All in the game saying Kaylin just misses out. Yeah, she'll make it to the obviously to the Olympics in the relay pool, I would imagine. Hall says, I guess this is a lot of hi. Thank you for joining. Stay Curious. What a comeback. Definitely. Kaylin will be on the 4x4 or mixed. What is the status on Jamaica's Paris hopefuls? They seem to be mostly injured. I don't know, Franklin. We'll see. All will be revealed in a couple of days here. We might see some new people coming through. I don't know. I suspect Nikisha Price should win the 400 meters for Jamaica, and it wouldn't take much sweat. There's also Williams. There's a bunch of other people that names are slipping me right now. Did Quincy make it? Just joining back. He did make it. World under 18 record, finishing third, and he made it. So that is special for Quincy Wilson. Yeah. So yeah, thanks everyone for being around and for hanging out so far. This has been a fabulous live. I really appreciate you guys on the live. And if you're into cricket too, it's 130 for 8, 19.2 overs, and the West Indies, I think they need to try to get this to 143, 145-ish. Otherwise, they're going to be in trouble. If Niles' block start is as always, Coleman will take the race. Yeah, I think right now Noah has to start really well, unless he's holding back some super fast times that we don't know about yet. But if we take it as a given that Kristen Coleman will find his way with some of an amazing start, explosive start, then who knows what will happen? Who knows what will happen? Yeah. Bad Danny is saying Shawnee Miller Weaver think will gain her title again over 400 meters. At this stage, I gotta say no. If the question is, will she make it to the Olympics in terms of uh, making the standard? She needs to run the qualifying time, as All in the Game was pointing out. Has less than a week to accomplish this. I don't know, to be honest with you. 400 meters, interesting. A lot of great athletes. I still think Paulina has a slight edge, probably a little bit more than a slight edge. Adelike, uh, you just never know. There is Kazmarek. There is what's the other Dutch woman? Uh, names are slipping me right now. It's late at night. I apologize. Uh, yeah, there is. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say what we'll get from women's 400 meters in terms of what Shauna Miller Weibo does. First, you got to run the time. Let's see what we'll get. I think right now, I don't know what kind of shape Nikisha Price might be in. She's gone 48.89. You know, it's a long collegiate season, but if there's time to peak again, Kazmarek has run 48.98 as well. Adadike has a 49.07, and I think she can certainly go sub 49 and probably mid sub 49. And Paulino, I think, will run 48s for sure. There's also Amba Anning, who was part of that special race as well. It's a question of whether or not she'll be in the kind of shape, fit and ready. Lika Klava, I don't know what that's who I was trying to remember. She hasn't gone sub 49, but you just don't know. So unless if I see I would say it's hard for Mila Weibo to regain her title without us getting a sense of if she's in a 48 shape or so. I think you have to be in a mid to low 48 shape in order to be guaranteed that you could win this title. Whether or not you'll run that is a different question. But yeah, that's how I would think about it. Uh, yeah, she looked good, but the relay is interesting back then. We got to see her on the track, But I think she's one of those special athletes where if she were to defend her title, that would be 3 in a row. Certainly, that would make her the greatest of all time. I would think. Certainly, you know. Uh, yeah, you're right. Clava not a medal 13 in your opinion. All in the game is saying Clava is not a medal 13 in his opinion. Podium will be Paulina, Kazmarek, Adelike, and Shawnee and Price. Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. I definitely think Paulina will win. Kazmarek looks good this season. I think Adelike could spring an interesting surprise. I just have this kind of funny feeling about that Coach Flo is really working to just get them to be ready at the right time. What we saw from Adelike at the European Championships special, you and I have talked about this before. I think she really can go. She could really run. I mean, if she really put her efforts into 100 meters, she could probably run 10.8 lows. You know, you just don't know. She's that good, right, in terms of across the distances. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what we get. There's going to be not much longer on the live, guys. Obviously, the women's 400-meter finals just concluded. Men's steeplechase in the mix. Then they'll do the 200 meters for the heptathlon, and then we have the much anticipated 100 meters final for men. I want to see the standings of what's the standings in the heptathlon. I don't know if I like how this results are showing up. I'll have to check that. I don't know what the standings currently is, to be honest with you. We missed out some field events today. Obviously, Hammer Price made it, Reese made it, and Echikomwoki made it as well, 74.68. I mean, now they're interviewing Snoop Dogg. I wish I was. I just see him on the TV. I don't know what he's saying because I'm not listening. But uh, Bad, Bad Danny says, what do you think about 400-meter men? Think Stephen Garner will gain his title back? I was saying that earlier. I was I don't know. I think if I have to see someone run a 40. No one has run 43 seconds yet. I don't know if they're being coy, but will I just he looked okay to me. He looked good over that 300 meters when he came back. Then he looked pretty decent in the Golden Spikes race. He just looked a little bit winded at the end. So I don't know where the fitness level is, but that was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So he may be in a totally different shape right now. I think if Gardner gets back to good shape, then I would say yes. I think I don't know if he can beat him if he's in tip top shape. And I don't even know if even Mike Norman could if he gets into tip top shape as well. That's how I think about it. But all will reveal at some point. Stay Curious is saying Snoop Dogg everywhere, I guess. So I guess he's part of the team. Didn't Snoop Dogg and did some kind of Olympic thing in Tokyo on a late night show for NBC. So I guess he's part of the promotional package. All in the Game is saying if Kyrie King had rightfully made it into the 100-meter final over Kendall Williams, would have meant Dennis Mitchell would have had three people in both women's and 100-meter final. Yeah, didn't even think about that. Dennis Mitchell. You know, I would hold. I'm always. Yeah, I shouldn't say anything about Dennis Mitchell. Now is not the time. He's a fabulous coach. Uh, I remember Dennis Mitchell. What the Green Machine obviously had issues obviously with the integrity of the sport at different moments, but that's for another case. I remember, was it '96 Olympics when the US was in trouble in terms of figuring out their lineup for the 4x1 in Atlanta? And Dennis was like, if Carl has to come on anchor, I'll move over. And it was all over the place, you know? Yeah. All right. What poll you talking about? Oh, my producer put up some polls. I'm not sure, Andre. I haven't seen it. Yeah. Huh? He says it's a limited space. Why Kenny not on the poll? I apologize. You got to write in, right? You can write in. Can they write in on the poll? I see these polls. I didn't put up a poll. Yeah, we have a poll. It's my fault. It's yeah. I think it's a space issue. I apologize. You got to talk to YouTube about it. Yeah. How's the pole vault going? Kendrick's what 592 here, meet record. Nielsen 587, and Wooten 587. It's kind of interesting when you see pole vaulters and there's not not over 6 meters, and then you got one guy that's going to go 625 in Mondo de Plantas or something like that. Who knows what he'll do? It's interesting. We got to appreciate Mondo, even though he annoys me with these world record attempts, 1 cm every meet. Yeah, yeah. Sub to me 543 if I got this correctly. It's realistically between Coleman, Lyles, Bednarak, and Lindsay. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it's. Thanks for saying that. But Danny, I think Fred Curley would win 100 meters. He saved the most energy and looks like he had a lot in the tank. You thought so? I thought he had to find his way to make sure he got into that that top two. I mean, I would have to look at it again, but I mean, it's not a bad shout, but he hasn't given us any indication that he can comfortably beat Coleman or Lyles, but we'll see. We'll see. Hi, Sonia. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing very well. Yeah. So we're looking for obviously the 3,000 meter steeplechases on the track. I think there's 2 laps to go. I haven't been paying attention to it, to be honest with you, and so I don't know who's leading or anything like that. The javelin throw is also in progress. I think Thompson's what? Currently in the lead at 83.04. That none of these guys seem to be making the Olympic standard yet. Likewise, Williamson 79.57. So yeah. So yeah, just a few more events for the night to get us up to the 100 meters. So after this race on the track, you will get the women's heptathlon 200 meters. That'll finish off day one for them. And then men's 100-meter final. So this is the end of the steeplechase here. There's rooks in the mix. Let's see what we're getting here. Is someone gonna get lapped on a 3,000-meter steeplechase, or am I seeing something incorrectly? Rooks is pushing it. He's way out there right now. I don't think anyone would catch him here. This is what, 7:53 right now with a little bit left. It's probably gonna be 8:20 something, 8:30, depending on how fast they finish here. Last water jump there. Rooks is moving. Wilkinson's in the mix as well. So it's gonna be Rooks Wilkinson. It's gonna win for the second time in a row, right? And it's gonna be Wilkinson second, and also Corrigan coming across for third. So those are the 3 finishers. I'm not quite sure how many of these guys have the Olympic standard. I think Rooks has the Olympic standard. That's the end of the 3,000 meter steeplechase. The 100-meter final starts at 10:48 Eastern time, 10:49 Eastern Standard Time. And let's see where we are here. Andre White is saying, I don't think Fred will make top 3. I'm with you on that. We'll see. By then, when is the Jamaica trial? Starts on Thursday to Sunday. I'll be doing some watch-alongs. I guess I'll be doing overlapping watch-alongs because the U.S. trials will be going on at the same time. I gotta talk to my producer and see how we can get these shows working. We're on the road, so we are trying to do shows at different venues. All in the game. Some of these Olympic standards are a little too high. Yeah, I think the changes here. I don't know if we spoke about this, but the list was tougher than the year before. Yeah, it's tougher. Uh, Noah Lyles winning the final with a spectacular time, maybe, but we're gonna have a surprise. So, what's that surprise, Solomon? What's the surprise you think we're gonna get? Is it gonna be Miller? I'm joking. Uh, Dude just came back from a fall to second. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I didn't even see all of the steeplechase until the end of this. Yeah. No, yeah. All right, hold on. I agree. Yeah, 233 is very high. They have to go to most likely they have to go to world rankings for that. What's the let's see since you brought that up all in the game because yeah, some of these things are super high for sure. Uh High jump this year is let's see where we are on high jump. Is it Tambir in the yeah. So Tambir is gone 237, Kerr 236, Harrison did 234. And then like Wu 233, Makirin 233, and Lysenko 233. Those are the guys. Bashima's only gone 231. Obviously, he has a standard from from last year, so a bunch of guys has a standard. But the high jump is very high marks to get there. To be honest with you, and I think for the growth of the sport in some places, uh, you have to for the growth of the sport you have to allow for some of these events to come with a little bit lower standard. I think you can raise standards in like the sprints, which I'm fine with. The 400 meter, all the way up to 400 meters, 800 meters too, because people are moving on. We'll see what we get, but I don't know. Franklin Jones, if I'm related to the ex-Solicitor General, no, I'm not. Is that for me? No. Uh, I wish I knew a solicitor. I wish I knew a solicitor general, but it's a different story. All right, so we're gonna get the 200 meters for the Athing. There are gonna be what 3 heats of those, and after that we'll head into the 100-meter final. What's the poll on the 100-meter final right now? Yeah, definitely want to see. Uh, so obviously the start list again for the 100-meter final has Williams in lane one, Smith in two, Hickling, who look really good, in three, Coleman in four, Lindsay in five, Kung Fu Kenny in six, Noah Lyles seven, Fred Curley eight, and Kristen Miller in lane nine. Interesting there. So Coleman is not even close to Lyles or yeah. It's going to be a very interesting final. Yeah, if season best for Coleman obviously 986. Lyles did a 985 in Jamaica recently. Williams and Miller 993. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting final there. We'll see. Let me get don't forget to put your comments in. Let's see. I know we're all anticipating this big final. What he says? Okay. That's why I said no, I won't see them coming. Okay, yeah. There's showing a little bit of the warm up area. We're seeing Noah Lyles there. What is what is have you guys watched that Netflix thing? Is it out yet? I don't really know. I didn't see it. All in the game is saying Fred's negotiating power with a new sponsor diminishes if he finishes out of the top three. It definitely is the case. If he doesn't make it to the Olympic to represent the United States in the flat 100 meters, then it's done. Yeah, it's done. It's done. Because I mean that departure with his shoe sponsor was really interesting. Yeah. All right. I don't know if I missed any comments. Yeah. I don't know. Where do you think he wants to go, right? What he ran in yesterday? Nike shoes. So I don't know. He was with Nike before he went to Asics, right? Was it Asics he was with? Or whoever he parted company with? Appreciate everyone on the live. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. Smash that like button. Helps us out a lot. That's one way to support the channel. Subscribing helps us as well very much. Hitting the notification bell will let you know when we go live, when we drop videos. So we'll see. That's the best way to stay plugged in with sports talk tech. And then after this, entertain yourself with some of the videos on the channel. I guess they're showing some. This was the 100-meter final from last year. Yeah. Hmm. Every time I look at a 100-meter final, I always wonder, like, Oblique Civil really didn't acquit himself well in that race. Uh, Noah walked the walk and he talked the talk, back it up, and I love it about him. That's why he's my favorite to win this race. Yeah, he definitely backs it up. A lot of people talk, but he has the goods for sure. Nemanic says Coleman 982. And Truth set you free. When is Jamaica trials and is Elaine taking part? Elaine is listed in the 100 meters only based on the start list that I saw or heard about. So she won't be defending the 200-meter title. So we'll have a new 200-meter champion at the Olympic Games. That's for sure. The championship starts on Thursday, ends on Sunday. I don't know what kind of shape she'll be in. She did go off to see the famous German doctor, and what does that mean? I don't know. We saw the last time we saw Elaine was at the New York Grand Prix, and they had to assist her off the track. Never a good sight. Unless there's miracles, I don't expect much, but I hope she can find form and fitness, because you want to see people defend their title and not get pushed out for injury. But that's part of the sport, and sometimes you're unfortunate. Sometimes it's a combination of a number of things. Unfortunate, interesting choices. You never know. But let's hope she finds her way at the trials and can compete. All in the game. We'll see what shape Zarnell is British trials. Only running the 200-meter there though. Is how do they pick their team? To be honest with you, I can't remember. Why is he only running the 200? Is it because he already gained the 100-meter spot? Did they use the European Championships as a thing? I should know this, and I think I know the answer to this before, but I can't recall. And yeah, thanks for saying that. The Jamaica trial started. It means starts on Thursday, or yeah. Top two selectors have discretionary pick for third place. Okay, right. I suspect he'll get one of those spots. No question about it. Yeah. Yeah, I want to see what shape he is in. The civil shape is interesting. They're probably doing a similar program there, so I want to, let's see what he has there. I want to see where Alana Reid is as well. Weston has got two quick wickets there. I didn't even see this. 15 for two. So South Africa 15 for two there. Uh, yeah, uh, Obliqueville will be interesting. Shoot Setifi. Where's you mean Mboma is? We saw Christina Mboma. If that's what you're, if I understand what you're saying, uh, she ran. I forgot what meet it was. Was it in Kenya? In that Kenya meet she ran? I can't remember off the top of my head. All in the game might know, or we have to check the. I can check to see. But I don't know. I didn't look good. I have no idea. I have no idea, to be honest with you. Yeah, I would not put much faith into that. Yeah, and and Elaine will not make it this year. Elaine will not make it this year Olympics. Something is, I guess you're saying, is not right with her. This is not her year. Yeah, I mean it's very. I don't know for sure. I doubt it. I just can't see it. It's tough, right? I don't want to rehash the discussions on the Elaine thing. We understand where that is. I was optimistic last year when we saw her at the end of the season because when she went over to Coach Osborne and by the time she got to the Diamond League final, if you had to put money on it, you would say she was ahead of schedule given what happened earlier in the season, last season. And then that didn't work out. And she went over to Ronaldo Walcott, who has prepared Shelley and Fraser Price really well. And so it wasn't about, clearly it wasn't going to be a matter of expertise. But then the injuries come up, and that clearly has scuppered what looks like an Olympic berth for her. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Uh, Bad Danny saying Elaine will surprise many. I would love to see it. I certainly would love to see it. I have to be honest with you. I would love to see it. You know, that's how I think about it. I would like to see uh, her find form, but it's hard to look at that run in New York and think that you would be in form for an Olympic trial. And here's why: because at that moment she was running 11 seconds a lot. Like we saw her twice 11 and change. Nothing that looked remotely close to any super fast times. And so you have to think that the icing of the leg, and that would have at least put out a week of training or more, and to find form and come at the trials. So that's why I don't think you'll see anything. Yeah, I don't think you'll see anything. Uh, Truth is saying yes, Elaine should sit it out and try Worlds. Yeah, it's in what, Tokyo next year. This is Anna Hall on the track right there in the Heptathlon 200 meters. Tough for Anna Hall. Yeah. Last season having that surgery. Let's see what we get here. There's a recall gun on the 200 meters in the heptathlon. Unlike the individual events, they won't be false started for the first fall. If there's actual false start, you won't be thrown out of the multi events. So that's good there. Badani is saying, but it looked like Jamaican women team strong this year, a lot gunning for the top three. It is. I mean, there's the Crystal Slowly uh, woman. She won sub 10 recently. I don't know. You'll see what happens where it's Stephen Francis and his group, Paul Francis. They have a bunch of athletes over there. The Clayton twins. There's a few others. They could spring surprises. We'll see. Oh, the cricket is being rained out there. Played interrupted there. So you never know. Will Alana Reid have any great form? We know for sure we won't get to see uh, Brianna Liston, which is unfortunate, but she's young and there's a lot of cycles left for her. I don't know. We'll see in a couple of days. All in the game is saying, yes, Arnold has the discretionary picking 100 meters, so only running the 200 meters at the British trials. Same with Dina, yeah. Yeah. So just a warning in the heptathlon. Let's get on to this. We are around 11 minutes away from the start of the men's 100-meter final. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think Noah Lyles will probably pick it against Kristen Coleman. So just ahead of Coleman, or maybe Coleman ahead of Lyles. I still have 11 minutes to sneak in my prediction. Yeah. All right, this is the second section of heptathlon. Let me see what we're getting here. Hall is in 9. She's coming around. Anna Hall is pretty quick, but it's been a tough year for her. She's gonna win this, it seems like, or is she? Yeah, Hall is gonna take this. So 23.90 for Hall. End of day one. So she's like 3,881 points in total for Anna Hall. Truth is saying, my problem with the Clayton twins is that they have not transitioned as I expected, and others are coming along. Well, this is what, year 2? Is it year 2? I mean, it's still early though. I mean, I think it's still early. I'm not worried yet. At least I wouldn't. The challenge is, I guess the reason why we think about it a lot is because of their early success as high schoolers, and but it's still time. It takes time to fully commit to being a professional athlete, different program, the rigor of it. Additionally, they're growing up into young women, so it's not always easy. And they also had setbacks as well. I think you got to give it another couple of years. Not everyone transitioned, I think, at the same time. I mean, I know there's a lot of high expectations for them, but they have good tutelage, I would say. They're on a good tutelage, rather. So we'll wait and see. I'll give them another year or two. Bad Danny is saying, who are the Clayton twins? So Tia and Tina Clayton were high school prodigies in Jamaica. They're part of a Jamaica 4x1 under 20 world record team, running it twice. One ratified, one wasn't ratified, I think. They were also, at least one of the sisters, they've won titles at the youth under 20 level. So, yeah. So those are the Clayton twins. You can look them up and see their statistics, and they're now training with the MVP group in Jamaica. All in the game is saying there are 17 heptathletes could do these races in 2 heats instead of 3. I really don't know why what's going on at the U.S. trials sometimes, but I agree with that. But I don't know if they're mimicking the Olympics or so. I suspect they're doing that, but they could have gotten on with this for sure because there's a bunch of open lanes. No need for that. Yeah. Well, you might see them later this week in the at the Jamaica trials. So there's heat 3 of 3 of the heptathlon, and that's the penultimate event on the track. We'll get to the next on track is going to be the men's 100 meter. So Matt Monell looks like she comes across first, 23.96. Not bad. Positive 1.8 win. Right. So yeah, she ran 23. So the first race was 23.30. Anna Hall run 23.90. Mulling run 23.95. But there was a bunch of 23.30s. Well, two 23.30s in the first heat. Aaliyah Jones and Atherley. So Hall is in the lead, 38.84. Hawkins 38.74, and Brooks 38.61. So all to come in the for day 2 in the women's heptathlon. And we're gonna see the big men coming out now. True to say, I listened to an interview with Jazzy Murphy where he stated after high school he had no guidance and he fell away. He tried coming back, but it was difficult. The guy had tremendous talent. He did. I mean, he had some talent there. I just, yeah, it's sad. I mean, I think Jazeel Murphy and a bunch of other guys were in a cycle of athletes that should have transitioned well after the Bolt, Powell, Freitag, Nesca Carter era, and they didn't get into it. So, and it's guidance is important, mentorship, and just being focused, and that's not always easy. And that's another story. We'll get into that. Uh, Verona Hooker saying Elaine and Shelley will surprise us, guys. I'm here for it. Here for it. I mean, if Shelley runs fast, I don't think it's a surprise. So I personally will never be surprised. I never count out Shelley and Fraser Price. It's crazy to think that Shelley and Fraser Price is still around at 38 doing this. We must remember back to back at the Olympics. Then she has 2 more medals at the Olympics, bronze in 16, then a silver in Tokyo over 100 meters, 5-time world champion over 100 meters, also doing that after having a child. You can't get a better 100-meter career than that. And also running 10.6, very, fabulous times, lived in 10.6 a couple of years ago. Yeah, so when you put all of that together, stellar performance. Most of the time she's crossing the line first, and if not, you're not really pushing her off the medal podium. I think there's maybe 1 year she didn't make it on a medal podium. Was it 2011? I think. Yeah, and she was suffering from something there. Even when she's injured, she'll find a way. So Shelley and Fraser Price can never surprise me. Yeah, even with injuries or whatever, they're managing. I think they're just trying to manage that, and we'll see. God bless us in the house. Jamaican athletes, I know all of us saw the US trials. I hope to see some faster than the US at our trial. Interesting. I don't know if you have to outcompete the Americans. I think when you go to a national trials, you want to make the team. That's the most important thing. Finishing in the top 3. Obviously, if you haven't made the Olympic standard in your event, you want to make the standard. Speaking of that, the Jamaica 4x4 men still outside of the qualifying stand, still outside of the top the standard to get into the Olympics, so they have to do something there. But that's what you want to do. Make it there. You don't want to run a world record at your national trials and then you can't replicate uh gold medal at the Olympics. That can be problematic. So I don't know if I have to see all a faster time. You just want to run. You want to see good quality time that can give you an indication as a fan, obviously, or people watching the sport that the athletes are ready to compete in Paris. But we still must remember there's a good 5 weeks and change away after trials before you get to the Olympics. Bad Danny saying, I think Sherika Jackson might win 100 and 200 in Paris. If she does that, then that would be spectacular. A lot of people will be happy with that. Some won't be, but I think if she gets back into the right shape, then I think the 200 meters is hers. You don't really get better than that. Consistently 21.4s in the last few years. All in the game, despite top three running sub 50s, only one of the those women who ran the 400-meter final will run in the 4x4 in Paris. Ah, that's true because Sid, Athing, and Gabby. I would say I would hold off on the Athing Mu until I see how good of a shape she is in, especially with the hamstring issues, that the soreness. I suspect it's not a big deal. They just were being precautionary. But you're right. They're gonna put Sydney on it. They'll put Gabby on it. Either way, uh, that makes sense. I think that might be. I don't know if that's something I said or somebody else said. Uh, does Yuan Bo qualify to Paris? I don't think so. Relay pool perhaps, but individually, I don't think so. We'll see though. I suspect Oblique Seville. I think Kishane Thompson or whatever his name is looks good according to reports. I don't know. There's Akeem Blake. There's other people. I'm not sure. Uh, like her or not, on current form, no one is beating Richardson. Yeah, she's in fantastic form, but we'll see if anybody will provide competition. I think all in the game is saying I think has 6 weeks till Paris. Bobby's getting Sid, and I think 2 gold medals in Paris. I wouldn't put that past him for sure. You and Blake, I believe his time is over. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. Yeah, Miller is coming out now. So the 100 meters, we are about to see a showdown here, guys. Kristen Miller is out here. Look at that. It's a high school kid. Looks like he's been in the weight room. Lindsay's coming out. It's good to see him. Former Texas Tech guy, right? And Kung Fu Kenny's walking out. Yeah, rain is saving South Africa, you think, yeah. Yeah, actually Johanberg want to retire in Paris, but maybe he won't be there individually. Yeah. Yeah, this definitely has to be the end for him, but I don't know if he'll make the team individually. Thanks everyone for joining. 100-meter final here. Fred Curley coming out. This is it, baby. This is it. Let it go. Let's go. Let's go, Noah. It's gonna be fantastic. Kristen Coleman coming out now as well. So again, it's gonna be lane 1, Kendall Williams. Lane 2, JT Smith. Lane 3, Brandon Hickling. Lane 4, Kristen Coleman. 5, Courtney Lindsay. 6, Kenny Bednarak. 7, Noah Lyles. 8, Fred Curley. 9, Kristen Miller. I think the team is going to be Coleman, Lyles, Lindsay. I don't know. Could Hickling spring a surprise? We'll see. Fred Curley could do it as well. It's unpredictable at this time. Appreciate you saying that, Daniel. Appreciate you saying that. This is the community for you guys. You know, lots of stuff on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit notification bell. You'll never miss out. All right, focus eyes here from Noah Lyles. It would be outrageous if the high schooler sprung a surprise here and find his way on the team. That's probably too much to ask. Okay, they're calling them back. They're putting them in the box. It's very quiet there in Oregon. It looks like no one's moving around. There's just a shot there of Noah's mom, head in hands. It's hard to see this for her. They're in the blocks. I think Lyles looks like he's gonna do this. He looks like I would say Lyles, maybe Coleman, Fred, Bednarak. I think Bednarak is gonna make it. He's looked good all season. And they're out of the blocks there. Christian Coleman had a decent start there. Noah Lyles is coming. Kenny coming. Kung Fu Kenny's coming as well. Noah Lyles is there. Lyles wins this. 982. 983 corrected. Lyles wins it. 983. That's equaling his personal best. 0.4 meters per second. Legal win. Kung Fu Kenny. Look at that. 987 personal best for him. Finds his way on the team. And Fred Curley just about saved his sponsorship there with a 988. And Kristen Coleman, 993 after a superb run in the heats in the semifinals, will not represent the United States in an individual. And the youngster, the high schooler, Kristen Miller, in fifth, 998. And Coleman looks distraught. Noah Lyles, someone said it earlier, he talks a big game, he shows up. Ooh, this is spectacular. I gotta get to your comments in a second. I gotta see this again. You're right, Coleman's last 40 is shocking. But look at Fred Curley. I didn't think Fred had it in him. Someone on the live, I don't remember who it was. We got to find your comment and ping it. Like you definitely thought Fred would make the team, and I was skeptical. You said he was reserving energy. Look at Fred fighting there. Fred find a way, and he was dipping in proper way. It's interesting because I thought Lyles would have been like, not Lyles, Coleman just like, he came out of the blocks really well. Look at that. I think Coleman is probably just doesn't have enough energy there in terms of he delivered a fast time but couldn't come back there. Needed to work more on his speed endurance this season. But Noah came, won that. Look at that. I mean, Lyle's start was not terrible. It wasn't the greatest, but he was in the mix. I think Fred was all over the place, but found a way to dip his way into this. Look at Noah Lyles' mom is like on the ground there, like she could hardly stand up. That is a fantastic run there from Lyles, from Kung Fu Kenny, PB, and Fred Curley talking a lot of game and found his way, obviously, back to the Olympics. Huh. I think of everybody tonight, I would say Kung Fu Kenny really surprised me a lot. Found his way on an individual 100-meter team. I definitely think he'll find his way on the 200-meter team for sure. Look at that. Oh, yeah, maybe I guess probably, but yeah, Kenny. Yeah, all in the game. My boy Kenny made it. Curly got sub 992. Yeah, yeah. That was really good running by those guys. And it's point 0.4, so legal win, very, negligible win, hovering there. 983, 987, 988. This is really good. This is spectacular here. Uh yeah, bad Danny, you did say it. Told you Fred was saving energy. Very good. Yeah, 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 yeah. We gotta give you a star for that tonight. That's Coleman's problem. Always depending starts. Shame for him, and Fred has the opportunity to close mouths. He did. Yeah. Because if he didn't make this Olympic team here, he had a lot of questions to answer, as you said, sport, sponsorship wise, and so on. All in the game was bringing that up. Curly is the big surprise. Yeah, I'm actually shocked. Like we didn't see anything from Courtney Lindsay. I mean, Miller 998 going sub 10, the high schooler. That is something special there. Hickling, I thought Hickling and Lindsay would have run faster than they did. Huh. But yeah, interesting. Uh Noah and his nail polish, and then he loved throwing up the devil sign. Okay, yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's a fashion statement there, wearing pearls. I mean, if you're into the fashion thing, yeah, I'm not into the fashion thing that much in terms of track and field, so I don't know what to say about all of that. Yeah, I told you all Curly is full of surprises. Yeah, you're right. JL is high schooler going for the 4x1, right? He should be. I guess they'll see what they do with the pool, but he should be going to the Olympics for sure. Uh, and all in the game, Coleman threw that away. Knew he was in trouble weeks ago when Simbini walked him down in the Diamond League over in China. That's a good point. I remember that too. Yeah, that was one when Simbini ran what, like 992 or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, guys, this was special tonight. This was a great night for track and field. Last night we saw something special from Shakara Richardson. We saw equal personal best here from Noah Lyles. The man delivers. He backs it up. He talks the talk. He walks the walk. Kung Fu Kenny back at the Olympics, over 100 meters. PB Fred Curley, talked a lot this year. Found his way on the team. Really good stuff there. Marcus Griffith saying high schooler should all, at the very least, be an alternate. No, he has to be. He's gonna go to the Olympics for sure. What they do, we'll see with the pool. But yeah, it's really good to be with you guys. I'm gonna hop off, but before I leave, I really hope that you guys on the live will, subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell. I should be back tomorrow night. We'll be back all week covering all the championships and leading up to the Jamaica Championships as well. In my makeshift studio while I'm away. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Blue Wave says Olympics going to be fire. Yeah. Courtney 9.58. Courtney Vegan says 9.58. Still waiting. No one is touching the 9.58. That's not even the same zip code. It's not on the same planet. Nothing like that. You can't wait for 2028. LA will be uh LA 2028 will be fire. Yeah. Let's enjoy Paris first and then we see what happens next. I appreciate everyone. Thank you. Hit the like button and subscribe as you leave the stream. See you guys.